I just had to show you this. I've been watching these two fig trees for weeks now, wondering when the leaves might start to fall off. Every time I come out here, I sort of go over and tug on some of the leaves, and they've been quite firmly attached. A few days ago, one or two small ones had fallen off. Saturday, I went away for the day. When I got back Saturday evening, it was too late and dark to come out. I came out Sunday morning, and all the leaves are on the ground. It all happened in one fell swoop. They just dropped off. I've never had that happen before. I guess it finally got cold enough for them. Anyway, it's time to bring this fig tree in the basement for the winter and plant this one in the soil out here to see how it makes out for the winter, and hopefully will leave out and grow again next spring. It has good buds on it. They look very green, but they usually do. So hopefully that will make it through. Time will tell, I guess. Well, it's November 7th, mid-morning. I just uncovered the bed with all of the row cover and the old bed sheet that's been on it, and everything is still going fine. I'm going to have to pretty soon harvest the broccoli. It's not huge, but I can see where I'll get a couple of meals out of my broccoli crop here. Brussels sprouts are developing, but they're still very small. Not so sure what might happen there, but I'm impressed that it's the 7th of November anyway, and I still have crops growing in the hoop house. And my chore this morning is to take this fig tree out of its pot and plant it in the ground right where it's sitting there. We'll see whether it makes it through the winter or not. I think once I stop using the floating row cover on this bed, that I will at least drape it over the fig tree for the winter. I don't know if that adds any great amount of protection or not, but it'll help a bit, I guess. Anyway, I've got a hole to dig. Well, the fig tree knocked out of the pot quite easily. Just starting to get, well, I wouldn't call it root bound yet, but there are a lot of roots around the outside edges of the pot, and it's only been in that pot since this spring. I moved it out of a pot that was probably less than half that size, I guess. So I think it will, if it survives the winter, it will appreciate being in the ground where it can send its roots out as far as it wants to send them. Anyway, as I said before, I've got a hole to dig. I keep putting it off. There you have it. A Mediterranean fig tree. Species Ficus Celeste, I guess. Planted in my Zone 5B garden. But of course, inside the hoop house. I think it will probably need to be pruned next year if it does make it through the winter. Some of the branches are sort of headed in a direction where they would be up against the plastic, but we'll worry about that next spring. I dug a pretty good sized hole, and I added sheep manure compost to the hole and a little bit that I had left over around the surface. And I've tramped it in really well, so it should take root here next spring if it makes it through the winter, I guess. As I've said a few times in the past, I hope to be able to come out here in mid to late January on a cold sunny afternoon and sit in the sun. I'm convinced it's going to be quite comfortable in here. For those of you who aren't familiar where my island is located, if you look at any map of the world or globe and look for the 45th parallel, which is exactly halfway between the equator and the North Pole. Campobello isn't on the 45th parallel, but it's very close. The neighboring island of Deer Island, which is only a half-hour ferry ride from here in the summertime, the 45th parallel goes directly through Deer Island, so I'm very close to being on the 45th parallel, a Zone 5 garden, and by mid-January or so the sun will be high enough above the horizon that the hoop house here should be getting a fair amount of exposure. So there's my little table and chair set up for a cup of tea and a book in January. Time will tell. Thanks for watching.